Hey, greetings fellow nerds. I am a nerd fighting fat, and this is my update of weeks 16 and 17, so 2 weeks of being on Mounjaro, 10 milligram, and this is my fourth and fifth weeks on 10 milligrams. So week 16 was a good week. I had my 2 36-hour fasts in, I got my 4 swims in, and I did a quick weigh-in just before hopping in the car and heading off to Disneyland. See my Mickey Mouse hat. Anyway, for that week, I lost 4.4 pounds. I was really happy about that. You guys remember I set a goal for Disney. That left me just 5 pounds short of the goal that I set, which was, I feel pretty good about that effort, and I feel pretty good about the results. You know, I had a couple weeks that were so-so, and the 1 week I had a little bump. So that was a pretty good recovery. I was really happy about that loss. But then, you know, we hopped in the car and proceeded to go to Disney. So this was Wednesday of last week. So typically, this is kind of interesting too. I take my shots on Friday, but so since I was not going to be on the road, I didn't want to have to worry, because we have to keep them in the fridge, right? So we didn't want to worry about that too much. I also didn't want to potentially have side effects on either my last day in Disney or the drive home, because if you get those side effects going on and you're trying to drive in a car, that could make for a long trip. So anyway, so I went a couple extra days on my shot from week 16, and didn't end up taking my shot again until I came home Sunday night. So it was kind of waning a little bit, but just anyway, that's kind of the decision I made on that. So basically, Disney as a 430-pound, 6'3" man on the pen on Mounjaro. It was a good time. I should say that, you know, I went to Disney last February or March, so I'm down about 75 pounds from the last time I was there. So definitely could walk around a little bit easier. It was definitely a much funner time than the previous time. A lot less pain from all the walking and standing and standing and standing and standing. That's what you do at Disney, right? So anyhow, let's recap each day, and I'm going to detail out my food, and you'll see why I'm kind of spelling this out here in a second. So the drive there, you know, what do you do on the road, right? You're in the car with kids, so you know the kids have certain things they like to eat too. So where I live, driving to Anaheim, California, it's about a 9-hour drive, plus whatever stops you make and that kind of thing, you know, pit stops or food stops. So for breakfast, I just got a sausage egg McMuffin at McDonald's. So not the healthiest, but they taste all right. So that's what we did for breakfast. For lunch, you know, we're driving. Lunch was Mesquite, Nevada, so there's not a lot of choices there. So we went to Jack in the Box. I got some spring rolls and some mini tacos. So spring rolls, I ate those. They were actually not bad. The mini tacos, I shared a few with my daughter. I tossed a couple at the end because I was too full. So that was, again, over the course of a few hours that I ate that stuff. Snack-wise on the drive, I ate a few pretzels, but really not much else. My Mounjaro was still in pretty good effect on the way down, so I wasn't really feeling hungry at all. So for 9 hours in the car, not too bad. So for dinner, we caught up with my wife at the hotel in Anaheim. We ate Panera, and we got a Mediterranean bowl. I got a Mediterranean bowl there, and I ate about half of it. So that was the day, the drive down day. Then day one of Disney. So we started off going to California Adventure. So Here's a pic of my family. It was pretty comfortable weather, you know, it was mid-60s, so it was funny. Some people were wearing shorts and tank tops, other people were bundled up like it was the middle of winter, but it really wasn't too bad, and it was a lot warmer than where I live. You know, our highs have been in the high 30s, low 40s, and dipping you know, well under freezing at night, so it felt really nice to us. So here's some of the rides I went on. So I'll just kind of break them down, and these are the ones I went on, these are the ones I skipped, kind of a thing. So Web Slingers, the Spider-Man ride in the Marvel area. Our family of 4 fit no problem at all. Here's a photo of the vehicle. It's pretty roomy, just a single bar. I mean, you wouldn't have any issues even being a lot bigger than what I am. So Disney's really pretty accommodating, especially on their newer rides. So Monsters, I went on. You can see from this photo, I was in row 2. We let the kids have row 1 so we wouldn't block their view, but there wasn't a lot of leg room, so it wasn't really a weight issue as much as I'm a taller. So it was more of a cramped knee issue there, but I fit okay, no problems. Toy Story, again, here's a photo of that one. You can see it's a really roomy car, and there was no issue there. You just sit in the seat and you pull down the pull bar. No problem whatsoever. You know, Little Mermaid, again, no problem with that. I kind of quit taking photos of all the rides, but again, it's just a moving walkway, and you get in your little car thing, and there's just a bar that comes down, and they just want to make sure it's latched, and there's tons of room. So I didn't even have problems with that when I was much bigger when I've gone to Disney in the past. So and Buzz Lightyear, it's a lot like Toy Story. I like the games where you have like the little video games that you're playing while they swing you around and stuff. That one was over in Disneyland. We had the park hopper, so we went over to Disneyland the second half of the day and didn't have any issues there. Again, it was just the seat, you pull the bar down, no problem whatsoever. The only one that I rode that I really kind of had a little bit of awkwardness maybe was of all things the train, right? You get on the train itself, it's just a bench and there's no belts or bars or anything. But to get through there, the turnstile, I had to do quite the shimmy to get through that little tiny turnstile thing. So it's a good thing I'm tall. I could kind of put the bar between, kind of between my legs and do a one leg at a time. Let's just say that. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a fun thing. So rides that I skipped, the Guardians, I think I'd be close to fitting on that one, but my daughter didn't want to ride it. One of my daughters, she remembers when it used to be the Terror ride, the Hollywood Terror. Anyway, she didn't want to go on it, so I kind of skipped it just to be with her as much as anything. I skipped the Cars ride. I actually really like that ride, and I've rode it before and fit okay, so I know I'd fit fine now, but the rides can get really long, and so my family was, they all decided they're going to do single rider, and so being a big guy, I don't do single rider. I mean, that's, you're going to be squishing somebody, so I passed on that since they were going single rider. So it is a really fun ride though, and you're more than likely going to fit unless you're really, really big. So, and I'm pretty big and I fit, so it would probably be no problem. I skipped the Incredicoaster. I think I'd probably be close on that one. My wife has a pretty good idea of how big I am, and she said it'd probably be close, but it's a long line for a possibility of not fitting. So I just passed on that, and my wife and girls rode that one several times, a couple times that day, and another couple times another day. So anyway, that's one of the ones that I skipped. I did skip Star Tours. I actually like that ride, but my knees were really kind of hurting when we got to that, and the line was an hour. So an hour of standing when your knees are kind of are hurting and you've already put in, 5 miles of walking, yeah, that's yeah. So I just kind of opted out of that. I also skipped Space Mountain and Matterhorn. Um, just I know that I'm not small enough for those. Those ones I would definitely most likely not fit in. So hopefully next time I go, I will definitely be small enough. So if things keep going well. So food wise for day one at Disney, so breakfast, I had eggs and sausage at the hotel and a banana. I ate the banana because it's supposed to help with your knee pain kind of thing, I think a little bit. I don't know, I read that somewhere, so potassium maybe. But lunch, I had just some ramen in San Fran, Tokyo, which is the kind of the eating area in California Adventure. Dinner, I had a turkey leg over in Disneyland, and I could only eat half of the thing. I was, Mounjaro. So snack-wise, I had a few pieces of cinnamon licorice, a few gummy bears. I skipped out on a lot of the treats my family got, but yeah, I just don't want the sugar, so I'd taste things here and there, a bite of it, but for the most of it, I skipped it. So it was a good time. That first day we watched the lighting of the Small World with the holiday lights. Holidays are pretty cool at Disneyland. There's the holiday parade at night. It was pretty fun with everything all lit up, and it's all kind of Christmassy and stuff. So so for that first day, I did a total of 14,122 steps. So that was 7.5 miles of walking and hours of standing in line. So Disney's pretty taxing on you, especially if you're a bigger person that's not used to walking a lot, like probably a lot of us would be. So day 2 of Disney. So the rides I went on in day 2, I did Haunted Mansion. I really have to say the Haunted Mansion at Christmas time, I love the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, and they have it all decorated that way. So it was really a lot of fun. So as far as fitting on things, it's a lot like the Little Mermaid. You have a moving walkway, you sit in this car, and they just have a bar that comes down, and it's no problem whatsoever. Anybody could fit through that. Pirates of the Caribbean. So they kind of redid some of this. So I was wondering if how different the boat would be. So here's a photo of me sitting in the boat on the bench, and basically, you just sit on the bench, so you can however many squeeze in can squeeze in. You can see there's plenty of leg room. Not bad at all. So, and it's a really pretty fun ride. Jungle Cruise. So once you get to the boat, you're just sitting on these benches in the boat. So no issues whatsoever for bigger people. But I will say this is another one of those turnstiles. Disney, on some of these older rides, the turnstiles are a fun little dance to get through them. This one's not as bad as the train, but it was still kind of a little bit bad. Another ride I went on was Rise of the Resistance. Man, I love that ride. So again, you're just sitting in a car that has a bar, but these cars are kind of like they're detached. They're not following a track or anything. They're zooming all over the place. It is such a fun ride. It's kind of interesting though. We got in line, and there was supposed to be about a 55-minute wait, and about 40 minutes into the line, the ride broke down. So there was a fellow nerd in line with us, and he was telling us how the system that it runs on, if anything gets out of place, that it shuts down, and then you have to reboot the whole system, and it takes about just over an hour, and it will start back up. And so we waited, because we already waited an hour, and all these people were leaving, and sure enough, after about 1 hour, 5 minutes, boom, the ride's back up. And so we were pretty much up to the front by that point, with all the people that had been abandoning and leaving. And so we gave everybody we gave each other high fives, and then we all enjoyed the ride. So anyways, that is a very fun ride. Did the train again. I'd never really rode the train before, and so when I rode it, I didn't realize it had like the dinosaur and the Grand Canyon stuff. So we rode it again to show my wife. It's kind of funny, like this old animatronics that are in there. It's between the Tomorrowland and the main entrance, that section. Anyways, so rides I skipped. I skipped Indiana Jones. I think I might be a little bit tight on that one. And then also my one daughter didn't want to ride it either, so not going to push it. And then I actually left a little early just because I was super tired at that point. And my wife and one daughter remained to do a bunch more rides. But it was a fun day. So when I say left early, it was like 6 o'clock. So I'd been there for, 9-10 hours already. So breakfast, I had, again, eggs and turkey sandwich, or not sandwich, turkey sausage at the hotel. For lunch, I had a lobster roll. For dinner, we got Cheesecake Factory, since I was back at the hotel, and my wife and other daughter came back a couple hours later. So I got a ribeye, and it came with mashed potatoes and green beans, and I could only eat half of the mashed potatoes and green beans just because I was full, Mounjaro. Crazy stuff. Snacks, I ate some pretzels. I did eat on this day a mint churro. My wife bought her and my daughter's mint churros, but then one of my daughters wouldn't eat it because it was turning people's teeth green. So I went ahead and turned my teeth and tongue green. It was pretty tasty, but kind of funny. So stepwise, on the second day, I did an additional 11,070 steps, 5.8 miles of walking, and more hours of standing in line. So again, it's Disney's a thing. Day 3, we start off in California Adventure, so just a few repeats, like Web Slingers again, and we were wanting to do the Cars ride, but it was broken down for pretty much most of the day. My family did Incredicoaster a couple times. I will say that this was on Saturday. It was super packed. The park was sold out, so the lines were just insane, especially with Cars being down, and everything else in the park was just packed. I did skip Soaring. I've done that one before. It's a fun ride, but there was like a 90-minute line at that point, and I just couldn't stand in another line that was that long. So food wise, again, eggs and sausage at the hotel. No banana this time because they were brown. Lunch, I had just some curried beef and a sourdough bowl. I had a cheeseburger and a few fries at Flo's Diner and Cars for dinner. And then I just had some snacks. I had a few more pieces of Sona licorice and some pretzels. And again, I did an additional 10,508 steps and 5.7 miles of walking and lots of standing. So that was pretty much the Disney trip. The drive home, again, now another 9-hour car drive. And now the shots, I could feel the Mounjaro kind of waning off at this point. So this was day 10 from my shot. So yeah, like day 10. And I could feel it kind of breaking down a little bit. But I had eggs and sausage for breakfast at the hotel. At lunch, I got just... my wife picked Arby's, so she was actually driving home with us, whereas she was down there for a conference before. Anyway, so I got a cheesy bacon burger, and I ate a few of the fries, but not all the fries. And then snack-wise, I had some jalapeno chips, and I ate some pretzel chips. But so really not bad for 9 hours. But I got home and I hopped on the scale. I'm just curious, what did this trip do to me? I was up, I kid you not, 20 pounds. 20 freaking pounds. Next morning, I'm like, okay, what is it this morning? They say you weigh less in the morning. I was up an additional 5 pounds. So now I'm up 25 pounds from the previous week. So I detailed all my food for you guys so you can see it, right? It's like, wow. if you do the math on this, they say 3,500 calories is a pound. So 25 pounds, that's 87,500 excess calories. So that's 22,000 excess calories a day. Right. No ways did I eat that. And then especially that's excess on what you burn, and with all that walking, just insane. So today was my official weigh-in. So it's 3 days later, this is the Wednesday that I do my weigh-in on. I was only up 9.4 pounds from the previous week. So I've already lost off 15 pounds of that in 3 days since getting back from Disney. So just some advice for others out there. If you do long road and plane trips, change your diet. If you're big, you can really, really fluctuate. If I have a huge number next week, y'all know why. It's probably not legit unless it's over the 9.4 pounds that I'm up from the start of this Disney week. So it might take a couple weeks to get that off. I don't know. But anyway, besides that, my official number then was I gained 9.4 pounds for that week. This last week, my average glucose was 103. My average resting heart rate was 59. I mean, so everything looked great except for, boom, that weight gain there. If I had to do it over, instead of licorice and pretzels, maybe I try to do more jerky and meat sticks. Maybe try to drink a lot more water. Thinking back, I only used the restroom for all that time in the park 2 times. So, maybe I need to take a few element packets with me, take some electrolytes. So, yeah. I should also mention I had no side effects either week. So, 2 weeks straight on 10 milligrams with absolutely no side effects. So that part was great. So for my weight loss tool of the week for you guys, and this is maybe something I could have done for snacks and the drive a little bit too. A low carb snack I love is sunflower seeds. So your typical bag of sunflower seeds, it lasts me over a week, maybe even 2 weeks. You just eat a handful of them, and it just really kind of satisfies the salt craving that I get. I don't know, I always crave salty stuff. But they're really not that salty. They're typically around 150 milligrams per serving, and a bag of sunflower seeds has, like I said, 2 to 3 servings. So it's really not that much salt if you have a handful of these things. A 20-ounce Coke, for reference, has 40 milligrams, a 20-ounce Coke Zero. So they taste salty, but they're really not that salty. Anyway, I was ordering a bag of this is my favorite. So this vacuum pack, it's kind of sure less funny. But this is a Rufus Teague Pitmaster blend. This is my absolute favorite ones. I love the flavor of those things. And I like these too. They have 0 grams of added sugar. So they're just good. But I saw this other brand, so it's called Chinook Cedary. So I got 3 flavors that I got to try. So I'll just show you guys these in order from worst to best of what I liked. So the first one I got, it was this Hatch Chili. So you're thinking Hatch Chili, oh, that's going to be spicy, but they're kind of bland. So this one wasn't necessarily my favorite. And I should mention too, like these all did, I noticed, have 1 gram of added sugar per serving. So not my favorite thing there, but again, there's only like, this whole bag is like 2.5 servings, so it's really not a ton, but I would prefer they didn't have that. But anyways, so that was my least favorite. And then the jalapeno ranch, this one's not bad. It's got a little bit of ranch flavor, a little touch of heat. So it was pretty good. And then the one I liked the best of these was the Parmesan and pepper. So I kind of like cracked pepper flavor sunflower seeds as well, and so this one I actually really liked again. I would buy this one again. I like that one. So anywho, so that's a wrap for this little update. Disney was definitely a fun time, but man, did I have some crazy weight fluctuations this last week. So hopefully now I'm back to normalcy. Well, at least at least until Christmas, right? So Christmas this year, I'm gonna go up to my in-laws in Idaho. So it's nowhere near as long of a drive. It's only like 3.5 hour drive or so from here. But anyways, I'll let you guys know if I can drop some of that water weight this next week. So keep fighting the fat. Cheers.